I think the opening would have been like so much better if the opening music was Concrete Jungle by the Specials. Because, I mean, this is what it is. It's the Concrete Jungle, but, you know, the Specials, a little too happy. Predator 2.
Ooh.
Sequilibrium. Predator 2. I'm Mike.
Chad.
That's Chad. And today's episode, today's watch was Predator 2. Danny Glover continuation. Thank you for the sequels, Danny Glover.
At every point in this movie, I thought he was going to say, Riggs!
I'm too old for this shit. He like mistakenly calls the Predator Riggs. Like, you know, he takes out subconsciously Riggs is the Predator, just constantly killing his friends and ruining his life.
Yeah.
Did you notice Lethal Weapon alumni in this movie besides Danny Glover?
Gary Busey.
And did you see who else?
No.
The captain. He was the guy in the beginning when Danny Glover wanted to get into that building, and he's like, "We can't go in. We got special orders."
Oh, no kidding.
And then he goes in, and he's like, "God damn it, go after him!" You know, just in typical Lethal Weapon captain fashion.
Yeah.
It was like, I love that. So Predator 2 is the sequel to Predator 1, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse the Body and some other people. And this,
I should say I didn't watch Predator 1 until last night.
exactly. Yeah, your first time with Predator, what was your opinion on the first Predator movie, at least for right now?
Well, I told you earlier, I don't like the infrared vision
of
the Predator.
Okay.
Which brings it down a notch or two for me.
Well, I mean, at least it's not like half the movie was shot in Predator vision,
Right.
you know?
I guess it was more than I wanted, but even still,
I mean, it's like not as haunting as like the alien stalking people. You'd never see the alien vision.
Right.
But like at the same time, it's like, I don't want to watch him stalking them kind of thing.
No, I mean, it was great. It was funny. It was scary. Memorable lines.
100%. Yeah. When you came up to me today and said that, I was like, that's fucking perfect. Because I remember the first time I watched Predator with my dad, and he's like, hey, stick around because he threw him and he stuck to the pole, you know? Yeah. Thanks for explaining it to me, Dad. Yeah. Yeah, that had great fucking lines too. I ain't got time to bleed. The sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex. I mean, Jesse Body's character in that movie was fucking great.
Yeah, there's tons of them. I can't think of them off the top of my head.
I can't remember that black dude's name. I'm gonna have me some fun. Not Carl Weathers. He was in a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger called Commando, which I'm fucking surprised didn't have a franchise.
Yeah.
They had action figures for some reason, but they never had like Commando 2.
Yeah.
So I love like when these movies have like former people, because like I wonder if like, you know, Danny Glover and the captain from Lethal Weapon like had lunch together. Like, hey, you remember on the set of Lethal Weapon, you know, when Richard came up to it, you know, or something. You know, I just love to think that. So yeah, the Predator comes to LA. It's hot, it's muggy, and there's conflict going on between Colombians and Jamaicans for like the drug. They want to run the show, and like apparently everybody knows it. They're not fucking hiding it whatsoever. They're like fighting in the fucking streets. What was it? Scorpio? That was that guy's name, Scorpio. Yeah. The one who like fucking pulled up the two Uzis to the Predator like he was gonna do something about it. Takes that big old fucking Scarface snort of cocaine.
Yeah.
And what's the deal with Jamaicans and cocaine? I thought their shit was weed.
I don't know.
Like they wanted to be the Prince of Powder as Downey Jr. guy, whatever his first name, not the real one, the Clint Howard of the Downeys.
Did make me want some. I'm not going to lie.
Cocaine?
Open that up and just...
Look, you get to this day so much faster. Fight some more people in the streets. You know, that's pretty much the gist of this movie, other than fucking street cop has to take down the Predator. No basic training, no military training. He's not the specialist. He's just some he's like John McClane.
Yeah.
Wrong place, wrong fucking time.
Yeah.
How many times could he been like, I am too old for this shit. I'm going to go home.
Yeah.
This guy killed my friend. Look at him. He's a fucking alien.
Yeah. Plus, you're that old. When he's in his translucent form, I mean, I would just rub my eyes and walk away.
I mean, that's what he did at the beginning when he first saw it. He like shook his head like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? He comes in.
Must be going crazy.
Yeah, I am too old for this shit. Yeah. Everybody in this fucking movie was drenched in sweat just to get the point that it's fucking hot in LA.
Yeah.
Like everyone had pit sweat, back sweat, front sweat, crotch sweat. It was all over the fucking place. They looked like Megan Fox in the first Transformers movie. Someone fucking greased her up and they greased them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. What more fun things about this one though? Like as far as the one-liners go that we had.
One-liners in this one.
I think the Predator said them all too.
Yeah, I had a couple coming back to me from the first one actually when Arnold was like, knock knock.
Oh yeah, and then he fucking like launches in that like shits the launcher.
The other guy talking about his girlfriend's pussy.
Yeah, we talked about him in Lethal Weapon because that's the guy who wrote Lethal Weapon. And then he actually, I think he had a hand in Predators too. And the first Predator actually, to be honest.
Yeah, one-liners in this one. Do you have any that come to your mind?
Don't worry, I'm a cop. I don't think he gives a shit when the fucking alien runs through that apartment building. I fucking love that scene. That was always one of my favorites.
We talk about how rough the female cop was with Bill Paxton. Was there any? That wasn't necessary. She didn't have to go that far.
Oh, well, like she's the toughest nails fucking cop.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you have to be tough to be a cop in LA in 1997. I mean, this is the future. Like I said to you, why is it 1997? Why did it have to be in the future?
Yeah, but he was almost just being friendly with her. And that wasn't a
well, no, he was just being annoying, obnoxious. Like, I stabbed that son of a bitch 1,000 times and he never died on me. Mr. Bill Paxton, R.I.P., she was like, yeah, I heard about you. How you got your last partner killed, and grabs him by the nuts.
When did Paxton die?
A while ago, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone who posted their memorials were posting pictures of that vampire movie he was in from the 80s. God, I can't remember the name of it, but I don't know. I've never seen it. It's like one of those things that if I told someone I've never seen it, they'd be like, the fuck is wrong with you? Thought you liked movies, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bill Paxton is, I believe, only actor to have ever been killed by a Terminator, an Alien, and a Predator.
Ooh.
Terminator 1 in the beginning, Aliens, and this one.
That's great.
Yeah, isn't that kind of cool? Like, that's a fucking legacy right there.
For sure.
That and Frailty, like fucking fantastic Bill Paxton movie.
Frailty.
Matthew McConaughey.
Okay.
It was about like God told him to kill all these people, and he had a gun or an axe that had the name Otis on it. It's really fucking great. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, I think I only saw that once.
I saw it once too, but it's like one of those movies that always stuck with me because it was so good.
Bill Paxton's been in quite a few.
A few like horror movies, or just
a few kind of off movies that were really good. I can't think of them right now.
Fucking True Lies, dude. That small little bit of True Lies was fucking fantastic.
Yeah, True Lies isn't what came to my mind.
Twister? Twister's fucking great too.
Yeah,
Twister's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Paxton. I wrote that down just to make sure. Because, so now that you've seen 1 and 2 for the first time, which one did you like better?
Well, it's funny because I would have been so sure that I was going to hate the second one.
Why?
Just from the start, it just wasn't as engaging for me in a certain way as the first one was.
I like the way 2 started out with just fucking like fighting in the streets, the Predators, looking over his, what he was going to be doing basically. You know, like, this is my fucking hunting ground. And he's like, taking fucking inventory. First one was just like helicopter coming in, everyone fucking throwing their bags out, ducking to make sure they don't get scalped by the propeller.
Yeah.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, after seeing both all the way through, I would say I like them equally.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, you got to understand, I've seen each of them one time.
I know, and I've watched them since I was a kid, like over and over and over again. Like this one filled. I like this one way more than the first one. Way more. There's like what did I write down so I didn't forget why I liked it? More history of the Predator. I fucking love the whole more Predator gadgets. I mean, the first one we see the Predator cleaning the skull of Billy, you know, after he killed him on the bridge in the first one. But this one, you see him in his fucking like lab doing all the fucking work. You see the ship. You see at the end when Danny Glover fucking kills the Predator, and the other ones are just like, you know, good game, bro. And like they all show up, you know that there's like a whole civilization. In the first one, there's no story. You don't know who the fuck he is. He's just like, I mean, yeah, the beginning actually when the ship comes in on planet Earth and then it shoots down into that's the beginning of it, not the fucking helicopter coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the Predator. Like,
well, let's break that down a little bit more. What about just acting performances in general? One or
fucking
two?
Perfect. This one for sure. This one. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, in my opinion, Danny Glover is like, you know, Oscar-winning actor compared to fucking Jesse the Body Ventura.
Okay.
And Carl fucking Weathers.
Yeah, let's take Jesse and Weathers and Arnold out of the equation.
I mean, that woman, that woman they captured, she was fucking great. She was awesome. I think
she was awesome.
She was really good. I think Shane Black, the nerd, geez, you have a big pussy guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good too. Like when he was trying to get her to calm down when the Predator came and killed or attacked him. I can't remember what happened, but that scene. Yeah. And you know, I still think I like the group in Predator 2 more. I like Danny and I like Mike, Danny Glover, and then the other guy, whatever his name is. Danny in the movie. I don't fucking know. And I like Bill Paxton. I think Bill Paxton added so much to it. I think it was awesome that he was in the sequel to Alien. And I think it was awesome that he was in the sequel to Predator. Like, you know, kind of like almost planned, you know, because, I mean, Predator and Alien are in the same fucking universe. Which I'm surprised Peter Keyes didn't have Wayland Tech logo on his fucking computer, Gary Busey's character. That would have been so fucking cool. Instead, he had an AOL logo on his fucking tie. Yeah, and then that's the other thing. Gary Busey, man. Gary Busey's fucking great. I thought he was awesome.
It's strange that they were in Lethal Weapon just a year prior to doing this.
Yeah, with Mr. Joshua. You know, yeah. We already talked about Bill Paxton. So, you know, the crew was more fun.
There were a lot of scenes in this one. You know, like when he's hanging out the side of the car there at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. When he was
pretty great.
Yeah, totally. When he was like, you know, no one's going to save these fucking guys. I'm going to do it. I'm fucking Danny Glover.
Yeah.
That was fucking cool. Lined the car with fucking bulletproof vests. And he's like going through all of his guns and he picks up a 38 special. You know, like, yeah, that's gonna fucking work against these guys.
When Predator's hanging off the ledge, that's a good scene.
When he's hanging on Danny Glover,
yeah,
that's the other thing that I liked about it is Danny Glover killed the Predator. Arnold survived the fight with the Predator.
Yeah,
you know, like I think it's way fucking cooler that Danny Glover like cut off the bomb before it went off. And he had to fucking kill him to stop it. You know, that, I mean, he's no fucking like super special armed force guy to go rescue a team who had years and years of training. He's like, I got a college diploma and 16 weeks at the police academy. Who the fuck am I? And that, I mean, I guess you could say I like those kinds of movies where, you know, like brute superheroes in the jungle in the first one. And fucking Street Cop in the second one. So fucking cool.
What do you dislike about this movie?
What do I dislike? The stupid fucking story. Like the Jamaicans and Colombians fighting. I mean, I get it. You know, when you asked about like what was this whole thing about? And I was like, you know, just wait and see. And Peter Keyes is like, he's drawn to conflict and heat. And it's like, okay, you know, that makes so much sense, you know, like why the predator keeps coming back to fight people, because it's like he needs, you know, targets. He needs a reason to hunt some people. And
yeah, so, you're right. That's so cool that the story should have been as cool as that concept.
Totally, exactly. I mean, it's such a great concept, and then it's just fucking dorky. King Willie, Jamaican man, smoking big ass fucking joints, and you know that scene where they were doing the voodoo sacrifice of that Prince of Powder Colombian guy who's banging that chick in that loft. Which, you know, early scenes of nudity as a child. Thank you, Predator 2, for that.
Yeah.
And
she was going crazy.
Oh, she was going fucking nuts, man. You hear that screaming before you even know what's going on, and you're like, what is the Predator always getting to work? Already getting to work?
Yeah.
Like, you don't show us from afar, show us close. And then it's Friday night in LA. Okay. But yeah, and like the fucking cowboy with the frayed chaps, Jamaican dude, and I'll tell you what I believe. Shit happens. I mean, that was the ongoing line in the whole fucking movie. Yeah. But yeah, well, I mean, it's the perfect recipe for an action movie. It's an hour and 47 minutes long. It's got 30 minutes of fucking story, an hour of action. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you wanted to do like 10 minutes of commentary, I'd be quiet the whole fucking time, because I'm just like, watch that part. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Not describing what's going on, because I'm just so lost into it.
Yeah.
And that's and one of the other things that I liked about it too is like the Predator rewarded Danny Glover with that fucking flint gun from 1712 just to be like, we've been around for a while. We'll see you again.
Yeah, you're definitely right. The end of this one is better than the original.
Oh my God, sure. So much better. I mean, the end of the first one was so much more intense. In the sense that like we fucking survived this shit.
Yeah.
And he looks so tired. Which is, I mean, again, I'm not going to dog the first one for like the fact that Arnold survived, because it has to be a feat to fight a fucking predator.
Yeah.
Yeah, as if they were real. As if I'm like going to go down to the Sundance tomorrow night and fucking fight some predators.
Yeah, what else was there in this movie?
How fucking fast Danny Glover figured it out too. That's the other cool thing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like Arnold's like, oh, he's hunting us because we're a threat to him. I mean, way down the road in the movie, you know, like, remember when she picked up the gun and he's like, no, because he's only killing us because we have guns. But Danny Glover is like all on it. He's all on it, man. He's just like fucking pulling out his notepad, just the facts, ma'am. You know, investigating this shit. He even had like a scientist lady fucking helping him out. But then again, they don't have that kind of resources in the jungle.
Yeah. So it's kind of weird, though, that the Predator followed him to the cemetery, right?
Well, because he's taunting him.
Yeah.
So the Predator only goes after the top dog. You know, everyone else just gets in the way. So, like, do you remember he saved King Willie's skull? Because that was the last one. And then Danny Glover gets in the way and then just makes it so much worse. And so he's like, that's the fucking alpha male. That's the one I have to get.
Gotcha.
So he's hunting him in the cemetery, being like, what's up, dude? You don't see me. I see you.
Yeah.
Here's your necklace.
Kid with the toy gun.
Yeah, the kid with the toy gun. Bang, 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 bang. The kid should have just got it from the Predator. But no, the Predator's got a heart.
Blood-sucking dog.
Yeah. The Predator looked at the gun and was like, oh, that's not real. You're cool, man. You're cool. And he did the same thing to Leona. Oh, you're pregnant? Oh, I'll let you have this one. Don't, you know, I'm not going to kill you. Even though you have a gun. That's his whole thing. He hates guns. He doesn't use them. He uses laser rifles.
Yeah.
Concrete Jungle was a Predator video game, which was so fucking cool. So, like, it starts out and you're in the 1930s and you're like, you know, hunting this mob boss guy. And when you escape, you leave your tech behind. And then like 20 years later, like civilization has your tech, like your, all these abilities and shit like that. And the Predator Council's like, you need to go back and you need to fix this shit, get it from the humans. And it was just like more fun to just run around and kill people and like string them up on poles.
What was it called?
Concrete Jungle.
And it was a Predator game?
Yeah, it was so fucking cool.
What console would that have been on?
Xbox and PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so much fun. Like I told you, man, I love Predators. It was like so fucking cool when they did the action figures. Like toys are geared towards kids. If your parents allowing you to watch this fucking movie, they're not really paying attention to you. And I'm not dogging on mine for allowing me to watch this. I think I turned out fine. But in hindsight, they should have been making fucking toys about aliens who fucking skin people and hang them upside down and take their skulls for trophies.
Do you have any of those?
I have one, yeah. I don't have any of the new cool ones. I have like the old 90s Kenner ones. There's those actually I think are pretty cool. They did a whole like alien series too.
What's the coolest one you've seen recently that's come out?
The toy?
Yeah, which
Predator 2. They did this special one. It was a San Diego Comic-Con one where, remember when I told you like they were trying to make the movie more like a horror movie where he's like holding up his spear and the lightning strikes him?
Yeah.
So it came in a packaging where you press a button and light flickers as if and he's translucent from the lightning.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was really fucking cool.
Who's the toy maker? Do you know?
NECA.
Huh.
Yeah, NECA.
They do some good shit.
They do good shit, but
I've got the Chucky, the Child's Play.
I have the
NECA.
first Movie Maniacs one of Chucky where his arms are like too long for his body. It's fucking terrible looking. It's got like the real hair and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you post about the new Child's Play TV show
series.
that's coming out. Yeah, it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You know, it's not Predator 2 or anything.
Yeah, they just got a short little teaser trailer right now. You can't really get much from it.
It's got to be better than that remake, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was a whole nother movie studio. You know the shit behind that, right?
No.
So, it was MGM that released the first Child's Play back in 1988, I think.
Okay.
And they sold the rights to Universal Studios to make sequels to that movie, but they retained the rights to ever remake the original film. So when they came back and said, hey, we're going to do Child's Play, it actually caused conflict between Universal and MGM because Universal has put out, 6 or 7 sequels.
Yeah, at least.
Universal has, and then MGM swoops in last year, the year before last, whenever it was.
Does that fucking Mark Hamill bullshit.
Yeah, so everyone involved with the original Child's Play wanted nothing to do with the remake. And on top of that, it was a whole nother company that did it.
It's so fucking stupid. So stupid. I can't wait to do Child's Play 2 because that one is really good. And I think so.
Yeah. Coming out and beating the teacher with the bat. Or the ruler, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yardstick.
Patting it in his hand like, coming after ya.
Yeah. But Predator 2 is
But Predator 2. Yeah, exactly. I fucking love this movie. It's definitely my favorite. What's some of the other funny scenes that just got me? They were all Predator based. It's not like I'm like, oh man, I like that scene when Danny Glover and Bill Paxton are at that bar. And he's like, hey, you're my sister? To that girl dancing. Do you mind? It's my sister.
In both movies, when he takes off the mask.
The mask, yeah.
It's awesome.
It's so fucking cool. Talk about makeup and like costume design. Like it's amazing what they do with the Predator.
Because the mask itself is wonderful.
Oh, his visor? So he can breathe?
Yeah. And to have something that great covering something even greater, in my opinion.
Even the 80s one. I mean, it's not like there's that many years gap in between the two, but the first one, they didn't improve it because it didn't need to be improved. Mm-hmm. And then the end with all the other Predators and how all of their masks were different. Other facial features were different. Like you could see like the obvious elder, the one who gave Danny Glover the gun. I mean, I again, this is why I love this fucking movie. It's just Predators are just so fucking cool.
And I know the answer to this. I really do. But there was never a third.
Not a direct third, just that one that started after this one on Hulu with Topher Grace and Adrian Brody. I saw it once. I own it. I never watched it again because I didn't really like Lawrence Fishburne in it. It was just kind of like he was weird.
Why wasn't there?
Huh?
I mean,
Why wasn't there
they
a
were
third
both
one?
successful, right?
I think so. I'm pretty sure they had to have been. I mean, the franchise continued. It just didn't continue on like Predator 3. And the only connection this one has to the first one is when Peter Keyes is like 10 years old out in the Philippines whatever.
That's true.
There was only 2 survivors. It wasn't like, you know,
They just
Arnold
had to do
just
that
coming
to
back just to connect the
somehow,
two
yeah.
together. And I think Predators, the one with Adrian Brody, has a reference to the first one only. But I might be wrong. Like I said, I saw it once, so I can't really remember. I mean, it'd be cool if it turned out like Lawrence Fishburne was like Danny Glover's brother, and he's like, you know, trying to like, you know, my brother's not crazy.
Yeah.
But no, that's not really how it happened. Predator 2, man. You got anything else you want to say about it? You got anything else you want to say?
Surely you got something else.
Oh, I'm going to just start reading these people's fun little trivia or bad reviews about this movie that I read.
Yes, that's good.
It was the thing that I was thinking. Okay, what would you rate this out of 10?
Let me just say that for my own enjoyment, let me go back to that infrared vision and how much that bothers me.
Oh my God.
Okay.
This is going to, the infrared is going to, this is going to be the fucking breaking for your rating. You're going to be all
My
like,
rating, and I'm a little stingy when it comes to ratings too. Okay, because we got let's lay this out here. We got 10, right? We're
10.
going
1 through
to
10. Yeah.
So you got to say 1 is what? Like just a piece of shit.
Complete garbage. It's The Room without the irony.
Complete garbage. You can walk away, just lose interest altogether.
Yeah, you didn't even watch the entire thing. You're
Right.
just so disgusted
Just
by
a piece
it.
of shit.
Yeah.
One you would walk out of the movie theater for, and I've done that few times in my life. Actually, once it was Mr. Deeds, but we'll move on. 2 is not that much better.
No,
but you're
no.
able to fucking play on your phone while you're watching,
And then you tell your friends why you wasted your time watching that movie.
I wasted 2 hours of my life
Yeah.
on this one. Now 3 is something you're able to watch, but you don't appreciate. And you hardly get any entertainment, but you're not necessarily hating yourself for watching. Yeah? Now 4 is entertaining.
4 is getting better. 4 is getting better.
There might be some slight comedy in there. And
4 is like the movie Nothing to Lose with Tim Robbins and Martin Lawrence.
something you can appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. You watched it when it first came out. You thought it was funny. You watched it again. You're like, it's okay, but I'm never going to watch it again.
Okay. And then you got 5, which even though it's in the middle, you wouldn't call it mediocre. You would actually call that an entertaining movie.
I would say, I would say
a watch once type of movie.
it leaves me feeling the way I feel after I eat a Crunchwrap Supreme from Taco Bell.
Okay.
Where it was a great idea at first, and then afterwards you're just like, why did I do that?
You get to 6.
And it starts getting really good.
It starts getting
way
really
better.
good. Yeah. Because by the time you get up to 8, you're at a movie you would watch multiple times
Over
and not
and
feel
over.
sorry about. I'm going to put this and the first at a 6.5.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's entertaining. It's fun. You enjoyed it. You're probably never going to hit it again. Maybe 5 years later when it's on TBS.
I mean, if I'm being honest with myself, probably a 6.
Oh, and how much do the visors factor that 6?
Yeah, I mean, quick.
What would you put it?
I don't even think I'm taking that into consideration. right now.
What if the Predator didn't have heat vision and it was just like, indication that you're looking through the Predator's eyes, but it's normal with some kind of like spider webbing?
Maybe a 6.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
Okay.
Maybe a 6.
So you just don't like the the Predator's perspective?
For the most part.
I never liked it when he took his visor off and you could see the eyes through the visor. And if you noticed in this one, in the second one, you don't see the Predator vision that much when he has the visor off. Mm-hmm. You see it that one time, when he threw Danny Glover and Gary Busey drops down. But in the first one, when he's fighting Arnold, you see it tons of times. So I feel you on that. Because it's so blurry. You can't really make out who the person is. I think the first one used it too much. I think the first one definitely used it too much.
And before watching the second one, I probably would have placed it at a 4 in my mind, as far as how much I actually would have liked it. The full extent would have been a 4 before I watched it.
I'm such a big sci-fi nerd, so I just love the concept. When you never saw Alien versus Predator, but the whole idea was that predators came to Earth, gave humans technology, but they only asked one thing: you let us incubate alien eggs inside you so we can hunt once in a while. And when things become too much, then they just destroy the entire civilization, and that's how Atlantis disappeared and Mayans and all that shit. And I'm like, that makes sense. I'll fucking believe that. If a church popped up and was preaching that shit, I'd fucking join that congregation for sure. But watching Predator 2, having all that previous knowledge, it just kind of makes it more fun thinking about that shit. Especially in this one, when they show the fucking xenomorph skull. That was the other thing that I thought was pretty neat that they did in this. Was they've had Aliens versus Predators for ever.
Yeah.
So you put it at 6.5. I definitely put it at a 7, 7.5, 8 for sure. For just so much fun.
As high as 8.
Oh yeah, man. Like I said, I love this movie. I have so many memories of watching it as a kid. Parents aren't home. I'm gonna watch this movie because it's got nudity and fucking violence. Yeah.
It is great.
Thank God I grew up to be a normal person.
Very few of the special effects leave a lot to be desired. They did a really good job for the most part when it comes to that.
I'm going to read some a 6 rating for you.
Okay.
Because this is what people thought about it. They gave it a 6, and this is what they thought about it.
Okay.
A worthy sequel to the original Predator movie. To be honest, I maybe like this movie even more than the first Predator. And there are plenty of reasons why. The most important reason is that we get to see more screen time with the Predator in the original form, which that's kind of like every sequel, I think that's why I liked it so much, is because now you have more of this fucking cool killing machine. This is why I'm here to watch this movie. Yeah. I'm not here to watch this guy fucking tell dirty jokes to this Native American guy who probably just doesn't give a shit about it. I mean, he laughs, but that's definitely a sympathy laugh.
Yeah.
Oh, this is another thing that my dad would always do to me. Anytime. Remember when he fucking stabbed the scorpion on Carl Weathers' shoulder?
Right.
And he said, thank you. And then the Predator just kept going, anytime.
Yeah, that was a cool part.
Let's see. For individual form, his weapons are upgraded. His kills are getting even better. We see a transition from the jungle to the city, which is an amazing job from the director. We see a better character development, a pretty cool fight in the end between the main characters, a beautiful looking alien ship, and a cool alien reference. So even though there were a bunch of issues with the movie, it still is a worthy sequel to the first original. I want to know what this dude's flaws with the movie were, because he seemed to fucking praise it. Why did you give it a 6? If you loved it,
I don't know, because I
much,
kind of agree with him, man. I think it's just everyone's sensibilities, It's going to be different.
I mean, how funny would it be if he was like, you know what killed it for me? The heat vision. Okay, here's some ones. Okay. God awful. This movie was terrible. The first Predator movie was way better. That was it. That was this guy's review. 11 out of 19 people found that helpful.
Wow.
Yeah. And then here is a long one, and this will be the only one that I'll do because I was listening to that last episode, and it just kind of kept going.
Is it a 10? I kind of want to hear a 10.
We'll do a 10 after this one. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. You ready? 1 out of 10 in one word. Awful. And here's his one word. I just saw this movie for the first time, and hopefully the last time. I like the actors here. Danny Glover, Maria Alonso, Ruben Blades. That's Danny Boy. Gary Busey. But the script just couldn't get it. I mean, Glover is a great character actor. Ruben Blades can portray his roles in a very believable way. Well, what are we supposed to believe about Danny Boy? That he was just a cop who was friends with Danny Glover?
Yeah.
That was it. But the script is so lame that no actor would have been able to make this piece of crap There was no RAP. Take off. Besides, it looks like a fourth-rate production. Cheap effects, cheap photography, cheap edition. You kidding me? The explosions were fucking badass. The Predator costume, badass. I mean, could you feel the heat coming through the TV based on all the sweat? Yes. The fuck out of here. Characters all looked phony, false with the same depth as the paper the script was printed on. Oh, I like that line. That was pretty good. And extremely fucking harsh for a pretty good movie. No storyline to talk about. The story was no story at all. That's true. But he doesn't bother mentioning the whole like reason why the Predator's there, and that's the story. Just a collection of scenes with almost nothing to connect them through besides the gore, the blood, and the alien. It's hot. There's conflict. That's why he's there. There's your connection.
Which is the best part of the story.
I agree. 100%. 5 minutes of just like, this is awesome. Predictable as hell. Not a single surprise in here.
What?
Yeah. Totally.
Predictable.
And not a single surprise.
Okay, now that's one thing I wouldn't call this movie as predictable.
I mean, you did kind of have an idea of what was going on next. You're like, this is happening because of this or something. I feel like I remember you saying that. Shouldn't smoke weed while we do these sometimes. But no, I didn't feel like it was predictable at all. Like, did you predict Danny Glover was going to have a talk with King Louis because their people are dying, and like, did you predict any of the fucking things that Danny Glover was trying to figure out? Get out of here. There's more to it, though. There's so much more to this. What this guy said, that was only going to be one word.
Awful.
Not a single surprise here. The first movie wasn't really great, but at least was enjoyable. This abortion of a movie, you ready for this part, does not deserve even a place in the Razzie Awards. It's too bad even for that. After seeing this so-called movie, I found myself with a little problem. Now I don't really know which film gets my award for the worst movie ever. Like anybody gives a shit. This or Fast and Furious. Clearly this guy doesn't like to have fun. At all. At all. The choice is difficult. Don't lose your money buying or renting this. Don't even lose your time seeing it on cable. 16 out of 30 people found that helpful.
Yeah, he seems like a conceited film fuck.
And
even too much for me.
I don't get why. One, I would not spend money on this movie because it's old. It's readily available. This is 2008 too, so it's not like Netflix didn't have streaming back then, and not like nobody had Netflix either. You could just fucking like, oh no, what did I waste? One of 3 discs. For Predator 2? It sounds awesome. All right, here's the 10s. Let's see what the 10s have to say. This one's a long one, so I'm going to skip that one. Holy shit, this person really loved this movie. 10 out of 10, extremely underrated. What the fuck is wrong with people? Predator 1 had more Arnie than Predator. This movie simply has more Predator. It's also great, expanded the Predator universe and franchise. It introduced a whole new bunch of Predator weapons, tactics, and behavior, which never ever seemed out of place and were perfect fits. I feel like I should be this person's best friend. It explored the race further. All of these were added to full effect in the AVP and AVP2 PC games, which were smash hits. So imagine how horrible it would be if this movie never happened.
Did you write this?
I mean, I feel like it. Jesus. AVP and AVP2 on the PC were so fucking fun. So fucking fun. The AVP games were so cool because like later on you got to choose between Colonial Marines as well. Like, so it just added a whole new depth to that whole world. It's so fucking cool. Which are smash it. The urban steel jungle, concrete steel. Come on, guy. Setting contrast against the previous jungle setting and is a major plus for this movie. This movie was also extremely realistic and gory. All in all, this movie is fantastic, and a few ignorant critics just want to bring it down by comparing it with the uniqueness of the original. I mean, what is unique about the original? The story, the Predator, right? guys with guns in the jungle. There's nothing new about that. We had that all over the place in '80s with fucking Missing in Action, Rambo. You know, there's nothing unique about it other than the Predator. So you take the uniqueness of the first one and you put him in a different setting with like essentially the same story. You know, I don't get it. I mean, it reminds me of like how people, you know, dogged Pinkerton, that Weezer album, their sequel. For what? It was so great. Just because it wasn't like a pop record. It was like a meaningful, you know, not like someone was trying to search for meaning writing fucking Predator 2 or anything. All right, let's see what someone in the 8 category had to say. Most people are in the 6s. Predator 2 is a great sequel from the 90s. Predator 2 is a great sequel from the 90s. So the title and the first sentence are the same. I don't think the person realized that they don't have to be like that. It is much better than the original. Here's a simple plot, but the action scenes reached a new level. It was also worth canceling Danny Glover's good acting. It was much better than the original. Here is a simple plot, but did you just... Yeah, he said that 2 times. But the action scenes... So this guy copy-pasted. March 1st, 2021. That's awesome. What were your favorite kill scenes in this one?
Do you have one?
I think the Frisbee cutting Peter Keys in half was pretty cool because then you just saw that like gush of blood fall down.
Yeah,
but then
you know that one might be actually.
Yeah, you don't see the other half of him fall down.
It was just his head, right?
No, I mean it was like half his body. It looked like, and all you saw was like the legs fall down. That was it.
Yeah, I thought it just decapitated him.
I mean, that was pretty cool. You don't really see him doing a lot of like fighting when he was fighting the dudes in the lofts because he was like invisible the whole time. The only really other time you saw him fighting a group of people
was on the train, right? Or what was it?
No, it was in the meatpacking plant. In the train, he was still invisible. He still had his cloaking ability.
Right.
But yeah, this one, I mean, didn't have like cool kill scenes like Surfboard to the Face and Lethal Weapon 2, but it definitely had like the right amount of fucking cool action.
Yeah.
One of my favorite scenes was the healing part in the bathroom. I always thought that was really funny that the Predator had to use drywall.
Yeah.
You know, melted with some blue concoction. And, you know, so it's like, the Predator travels with the toiletry kit, you know, like got my razor, got my travel deodorant, got my Bunsen burner and my fucking syringe.
Yeah, it would have been great to see him flossing his pussy mouth.
He's still, all right, pussy mouth, your move. I mean, I wouldn't say Danny Glover's acting was terrible in it at all.
I mean, it's Danny Glover.
I mean, what more are you going to get out of him? You know? Well, okay, Danny Glover. We've done 2 Danny Glover movies. What is one of your favorite Danny Glover movies?
Lethal Weapon.
Okay. Have you ever seen the movie Switchback?
Huh.
It's a Dennis Quaid movie. He's like hunting a serial killer, and it's Danny Glover. Danny Glover's a serial killer. I thought that was just so fucking out of left field for me because like he plays this like Murtaugh, you know, it's just like the kind of like someone's cool grandpa, and here he is a serial killer. So it's kind of like that, like when you first watch 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams, you know, where it's like, wow, this guy can do something completely different.
And it's good.
It's great. It's great. I definitely wouldn't say it's my favorite. Lethal Weapon, obviously.
What else has he even been in? I'm having problems. Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah, Angels in the Outfield. Gone Fishing with Joe Pesci. Saw. He was in Saw, the first Saw. He was the detective.
Okay.
Be Kind, Rewind.
I don't really remember that one.
He was like Pops or whatever, owned the rental store. And then it was good. It was a really good movie. It was really funny. Jack Black.
Okay. You know, I've seen it.
They destroyed all the movies, so no one was renting. So then they were like making their own movies out of those movies, and then like copyright law came down on them and shit.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I liked it. What would you do for a sequel? What would your movie that never got a sequel be?
Similar to Predator?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not sure. You've been thinking about this, haven't you?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Is this going to be an ongoing thing? I just haven't thought about it, but you have.
Oh, I always think about it because I always have a movie that should have been a fucking sequel, and it's just like 7 Degrees to Kevin Bacon. I can tie it to someone in this movie.
Let's hear it.
Surviving the Game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you have Gary Busey in that one. You have Ice-T with a fucking killer head of dreadlocks, so he's kind of like the Predator.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen the movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
several times.
I mean, granted, you can't do Ice-T, you know, you can't do Charles S. Dutton, you can't do Gary Busey, Rutger Hauer, any of these fucking heavy hitters, man. When you start naming them in these movies, Dr. Cox from Scrubs. But you could do a sequel where it's that hunting group. And there's different chapters throughout the world. And you do that same hunting group, but they like do the same thing, but with somebody else.
Yeah, Surviving the Game was great.
That was a fucking awesome movie.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole concept. I remember reading the short story that like all those fucking people hunting humans were based off of in elementary school. What a weird thing for an elementary school kid to read. High school. And the whole concept of like, these people like hunting the most dangerous game and it's man. And this one was just so great because it's like it had a story to it. You know, Ice-T was a super to this building. He lost his entire life and family to a fire in it. And he's just surviving. He's just trying to survive.
Yeah,
and,
I bet I've seen that about a half a dozen times.
Oh, dude, it was one of those $5 movie dump bin movies. But, you know, my mom loved picking movies out of those for our stockings every year, and that was one that I got one year, and I was like, fuck yeah.
You know what's funny is when you said Surviving the Game, what initially came to my mind was Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
You know, I thought about that too. Would have been, I mean, that movie couldn't have been a sequel because he dies at the end. But I love that movie too.
That's why I was confused for a split
were
second.
you?
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, Surviving the Game.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's great.
I went
love
to that-
Surviving the Game.
I went to that Army surplus store in LA that he went to.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty neat. They also filmed a scene of Domino there too.
Do they have memorabilia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as you go in, there's like that fucking falling down poster signed by everybody,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah. It was pretty cool though. Kind of like, you know, that's the thing. I don't give a shit about historical landmarks. I just love where movies were filmed.
Yeah.
Like take Stonehenge, cool. What movie was filmed there? You know, like I remember I was in Pennsylvania and I was like, I don't care about the Liberty Bell. Where's the Rocky statue?
That's funny.
I definitely did that. Yeah, all right. Predator 2, man.
Predator 2.
It was pretty good. I love Predator. I will always love Predator. I will always be more of a Predator fan than an Alien fan. So I think we should do Aliens next.
Oh, that'd be good.
You know, Bill Paxton is the connection. Predators are the connection. Fuck yeah, Aliens.
Who else is in Aliens?
Well, you got what is his name? Michael something. He played Reese in Terminator. He played Johnny Ringo in Tombstone. You've got I don't know what her name is, but she plays Vasquez, and she was in Terminator 2. She played John Connor's foster mom. You got oh god, what's his name from that show Mad About You?
Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser. Paul Reiser's in it. He's a company man, so he's an asshole. He tries to save a face hugger. Take it back because you don't know. Military, lots of money.
Huh.
Who else is in it? Bill Paxton's in it. Sigourney Weaver. So yeah, pretty good. I will have to say I love that movie as well. The contrast between the two, I'll definitely get into when we talk about it later. But I definitely have feelings between 1 and 2 that we will discuss on recording.
Sounds good.
Yeah, we'll do Aliens. next week.
Sweet.
Love it. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.